Welcome to all the devotees to our weekly Bhagavatam discussion. So, in the last 2 weeks, we have been discussing about the appearance of Srimati Radharani and some related events we discussed in the first day. And then we also discussed about a quick summary of the entire Bhagavatam. So, since the Bhadra Purnima week was going on, so now from today onwards, we will begin Canto 7. So there are so many pastimes and some important aspects of our sadhana are presented in this canto. As we discussed in the previous class, that Canto 7 talks about the Varnashrama system, which helps as supporting structure for our practice of Bhakti Yoga. Of course, that is mainly discussed in the last 5 chapters, chapter 11 to 15. But before that, some interesting topics are discussed in connection to Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashipu, etc. So let us see all those things starting with first chapter today onwards. So in the first chapter, Sukadeva Goswami dispels the doubt about the partiality in Lord Vishnu and briefly relates the story of the three births of Jaya and Vijaya, the two Vaikuntha gatekeepers. In short, this is chapter 1. So the first part is very important. So who is the Lord? How does the Lord, as the maintainer of the entire universe, maintains the universe? That kind of understanding we get. What kind of maintenance that is done by the Lord? How does the Lord maintain the entire universe? So we'll try to understand it from chapter 1 a little bit. So in summary, Canto 7 describes how inauspicious inclination arises from the anger of the demons and the auspicious inclination arises from the mercy of devotees. Uti, the Canto 7 talks about Uti, one of the 10 topics of the entire Bhagavad Purana. So, Uti is basically the impetus to perform various activities. So, what kind of impetus inspires us to perform what kind of activities? With some examples and case studies are spoken in this canto. And also, we will hear about the glories of Shuddha Bhaktas, Mishra Bhaktas, and the persons having jnana mixed with a little bhakti. Basically, Mishra Bhaktas means persons having bhakti mixed with a little bit jnana and karma. On the other side, persons having jnana and karma mixed with little bhakti. All the three variety of people. Examples of them are presented in the entire canto 5. That's the canto 7. So we will see that. So canto 7 contains total 15 chapters. The first 10 chapters talks about pure bhakti, which is arising from the mercy of a pure devotee. It's basically glorifying Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj is an example of pure devotee. So now we all hear about a pure devotee, but a pure devotee is not free from the material difficulties. Even though one may be a pure devotee, but as long as one is in the material world, one has to go through the material dualities. But the amazing thing is that how a pure devotee tackles the difficulties of the material world, that we understand from this canto, the first 10 chapters. How Prahlad Maharaj dealt with unimaginable obstacles, which are not coming from the different person. They're actually coming from one's own father only. Then how one has to deal with them. Prahlad Maharaj sets the ideal example. Yadyad acharati shrestha tattat eva itarojana. So out of the 10 chapters, we see that how the various topics are discussed in all these chapters. You can see here the past life of Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad Maharaj, the teachings of Prahlad Maharaj to his friends, and deliverance of Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad Maharaj prayers, and exemplary character of Prahlad Maharaj. All these things can be discussed, can be understood from these 10 chapters. And then in the last 5 chapters, there is a discussion about Varnashrama Dharma. So, what kind of life a pure devotee leads, we can understand from Prahlad Maharaj. Then about all other sadhakas who perform their sadhana with the help of Varnashram Dharma. So, for that, we need to understand a little bit about Varnashram Dharma. So, the four Varnas are discussed in chapter 11, the four Ashramas are discussed in chapter 12 to 14, and the detached householder, the exemplary character of the detached householder, is discussed in chapter 15. So, by the way, currently the Pitru Paksha is going on. After Bhadra Purnima, that Bhadra week, that Bhagavat week, Pitru Paksha starts. So nowadays everyone is busy offering Shraddha to their ancestors, etc., etc. So the significance of the Pitru Paksha, what kind of Shraddha rite should be offered, when they should be offered, where they should be offered, all such information is very nicely presented in chapter 15. So since it is Pitru Paksha, if somebody want to know about more details about Pitru Shraddha rites and all, you can read chapter 15 that talks about some of those details in addition to many other details. So in total, in these 5 chapters, we can understand what kind of people practice Mishra Bhakti with the help of a guru of the similar Bhakti. And the mixed Bhakti has both components with a minor or major element of karma or jnana attained through a guru of similar Bhakti in order to attain the respective goals. So Bhakti Mishra Karma, Karma Mishra Bhakti, Bhakti Mishra Jnana and Jnana Mishra Bhakti. So these 4 varieties are being discussed in these chapters. So, thus, summarily, seventh canto describes 2 types of uti or 2 types of inclinations to perform various activities. So, one is inauspicious, which generally arises from the anger of the demons. Yeah, people perform inauspicious activities because their leaders, because of their leaders' anger. Hiranyakashipu is angry personified. Out of fear of him, all his followers perform inauspicious activities only. In that way. And Hiranyakashipu became angry person because of the anger of 4 Kumaras. So for everything, there is some source. The source manifests in the form of effect. Same way, Prahlad Maharaj is performing all the auspicious activities which have the source of auspicious blessings of Narada Muni. So Narada Muni spoke Bhagavatam elaborately to Prahlad Maharaj even when he was in the womb. As a result of that, Prahlad Maharaj is what he is in that way. Then, this canto also glorifies the devotees of 3 types. 3 categories of devotees are discussed in the entire canto 7. First one is Shuddha Bhakta, example is Prahlad Maharaj. Then there are some devotees who have little bit of karma or little bit of jnana in their daily practices. They are karma mishra bhaktas or jnana mishra bhaktas. So persons having bhakti mixed with a little jnana or little karma. So that is also presented in the later part of the canto. And then Bhakti Mishra Karmis and Bhakti Mishra Jnanis. They are basically Karmis and Jnanis, but they also have some Bhakti in their daily process, daily sadhana. So persons having karma or jnana mixed with a little Bhakti. So they are also discussed in the last 5 chapters. The first 10 chapters talks about Shuddha Bhakta Prahlad Maharaj. The last 5 chapters talks about Karma Mishra Bhaktas or Jnana Mishra Bhaktas, Bhakti Mishra Jnani Karmis, and Bhakti Mishra Jnanis. These 4 types of sadhakas whom we can see all around us are being discussed in the last 5 chapters. The inclinations of Hiranyakashipu, which were inauspicious, were inborn. From the very birth, Hiranyakashipu was like that. The cause was the ancient anger of the Kumaras. It is because Kumaras out of anger cursed Jaya Vijaya to become Asuras. So Hiranyakashipu also became Asura with the same carrying the same anger of the Kumaras. In that way. The inclination of pure bhakti of Prahlada, Hiranyakashipu's son, which was very auspicious, arose by accepting the mercy from Narada's feet. So because Prahlada took shelter at the lotus feet of Narada Muni, that's why he attained all the auspicious qualities, in spite of being the son of the inauspicious Hiranyakashipu. So in that way. So the first 10 chapters is the topic of these things. How Hiranyakashipu has become inauspicious, how Prahlada is the auspicious. When somebody is inauspicious, what kind of behavior one displays? When somebody is auspicious, what kind of behavior they display? These two things are mentioned in the first 10 chapters. Next, the bhakti which appears within the devotees gave rise to the Lord's mercy upon him and protected him from the king. So, because Prahlada, hearing from Narada Muni, took the shelter of bhakti unto Lord's lotus feet, and he was dedicated to practicing a bhakti. Even though Hiranyakashipu tried many ways to kill him, but he was personally protected by the Supreme Lord himself. That is there clearly. That creeper of bhakti, growing in a great field composed of humility, respect, and other qualities, is nourished by the devotee Prahlada by watering it through hearing and through chanting. How could the little bhakti that Prahlada heard from Narada Muni manifested and became bigger and bigger? Because Prahlada never failed to cultivate it. He is continuously, very consciously cultivating it by continuous hearing and discussing. Shravanam Kirtanam. As a result of that, that means Prahlad, we have to understand that whatever little bhakti will become our will take.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, we are not able to hear you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, we can't hear. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. We are not able to hear you.
I think Prabhuji cannot hear us.
Yeah, it appears.
Probably the contact is lost.
Mm-hmm.
Must be some problem with the network.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, we couldn't hear you.
You're able to see me?
Now
Yes,
we can
now
hear
we
you,
can
Prabhuji.
hear you also,
Now you-
Prabhuji.
Yeah, we are able to see you, Prabhuji, but we are not able to hear you.
Okay. Now you are able to hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Some
Prabhuji, yes.
problem.
थोड़ा
Yeah.
sound voice is low, looks like.
So it should be okay. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
Yes,
And
Prabhuji, now it is okay.
So I was just talking about Prahlad Maharaj and also Hiranyakashipu. In the case of Prahlad Maharaj, what we should learn is cultivation of our bhakti is very important. Without proper cultivation, whatever little bhakti we have, that will also become invisible. It is because of the tireless cultivation of Prahlad Maharaj, because he continuously would practice and discuss with his friends and even with his father also. As a result of that, his bhakti continuously increased. Even in difficulties, he never went behind. So he did not give up bhakti even the dire difficulties also. That's how his name is glorified in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. So he is an example of pure bhakti. And then the last 5 chapters, we will see how people under the shelter of Varnashrama Dharmas practice mixed bhakti or jnana mixed with bhakti. So all such examples also we get to see in the later part of Canto 5. So these processes gradually become the states of, so by practicing these processes, the pure bhaktas attain prema, the mixed bhaktas attain shanta bhakti or dasya bhakti, and those who are practicing jnana yoga or karma yoga, nishkama karma yoga, they eventually attain Sahyajya Mukti. These are the destinations. So basically, 7th canto talks about what are the different sadhanas, how they practice all those sadhanas, and what kind of destiny they will get. So an example of all these sadhanas under the protection of Varnashrama Dharma are described in Canto 7. And this is fourth or fifth biggest conversation in entire Srimad Bhagavatam. Can somebody remember what all the conversations, big conversations that come across in the Bhagavatam? If this is the fourth, yes. Yes, someone, please tell me what are the different conversations that are there in the Bhagavatam? Who is discussing with whom and which goes from where to where?
Parikshit Maharaj, Shukadev Goswami.
Okay, then
Then from third canto, the Maitreya Vidura Samvad, that also continues quite long. Sutta
okay,
Goswami and sages of Naimisharanya. That
okay.
also throughout the Bhagavatam that.
Hmm.
Prabhuji, in
And then
second canto,
Narad Muni's conversation with Vedvyas also it goes to 4 to I think 7th chapter.
7
First,
only 2 chapters,
7,
4 to 7. No,
4
no,
to 7.
5 to 6, 2 chapters.
And 7, there is 7 or 8 slokas are there.
Oh, that is what did Vyasa do after Narada left?
Yes.
No conversation.
Krishna and Uddhav.
Perfect. Suta Goswami to sages of Naimisharanya, which is the entire Bhagavatam. In total, there are 355 chapters. Sukadeva Goswami to Parishit Maharaj, little less than the previous one, about 328 chapters. Maitreya to Vidura, 2 cantos, 59 chapters. Lord Krishna to Uddhava, almost 1 canto, 23 chapters. Narada Muni to Yudhishthira Maharaj, the entire canto 7. The 7th canto entirely, it is a conversation between Narada Muni and Yudhishthira Maharaj. Though in the beginning we see that Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj are discussing, but later on Sukadeva Goswami tells that I will just repeat what Yudhishthira Maharaj and Narada Muni discussed. So they both discuss, and the discussion comes in the entire 7th canto, total 15 chapters. So this is the 5th biggest conversation in the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, that is fine. So this is chapter 1, about 48 verses. All the different things are there. So there are 2 main sections. So in the first section, there is a question asked by Parikshit Maharaj, and Sukadeva Goswami answers. And then Yudhishthira Maharaj asks a question, and Narada Muni answers. And these both questions are related. And then the second section, Yudhishthira Maharaj asks another question. The answer to that question goes through the entire canto. So now, but in any case, you see the questions asked by these 2 personalities. Parikshit Maharaj asking question about Lord's partiality toward the Devatas. How can the Lord be partial to Devatas? He is always helping the Devatas. This is the question of Parikshit Maharaj. And his grandfather, Yudhishthira Maharaj, is asking that how Lord is impartial. Even to the enemies is also He is very much friendly and very much compassionate. So both of them are from the same family. Both of them are asking about the same Lord, but one is asking, how can the Lord be partial? Other one is asking, how can the Lord be? Lord is so impartial even to the enemies. So the answers are very much interesting, and today we'll try to discuss. I'm not sure whether we'll be able to cover all the way up to 32nd verse, but as much as we can discuss, we will discuss from this section. And the next class onwards, we will continue from the second part of this chapter. That with the story will continue till the end of the chapter, end of the canto. But this first part is very important. So this is like very much philosophical topic. Why? How the Lord, who is the maintainer of the entire universe, maintains it. The philosophical conclusion we'll understand from this chapter. And also, for so many questions that we may come across, why these devotees are going through these difficulties, why these things are happening to these people, why things are happening like this, why. All the whys are answered in this section. May not be directly, but they give a clue indirectly. Why some things are happening the way they are happening. There is a clue is given for all those things. At a smaller level, also at the universal level also. This is a very philosophical dialogue here. Now, Parikshit Maharaj is asking that how Lord's partiality toward the Devatas. Why Lord is always helping the Devatas? Why he is not helping Asuras also sometimes? Har bar, whenever Devatas are in trouble, Lord comes and destroys the Asuras, kills the Asuras. Why is so? Why is so partial to Devatas? He is supposed to be impartial. He himself says in Bhagavad Gita, Samoham Sarvabhuteshu Name Dveshosya Napriya. I'm equal to everyone. I don't like anybody. I don't dislike also anybody. But that we don't see that. He's always partial in everything. Apparently, we see that he's partial to Devatas. So let us see. Sri Rajo Vacha
श्रीराजोवाच
Samapriya Suhrud Brahman
समप्रिया सुहृद्ब्रह्मन्
Bhutanam Bhagavan Swayam
भूतानां भगवान् स्वयम्
Indrasyarte Katam Daityan
इन्द्रस्यार्थे कथं दैत्यान्
Avadid Vishamo Yata.
अवधीद् विषमो यथा. King Parikshit inquired, My dear Brahmana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, being everyone's well-wisher, is equal and extremely dear to everyone. How then did he become partial like a common man for the sake of Indra and thus kill Indra's enemies? How can a person equal to everyone be partial to some and inimical towards others?
The Prabhupada gives explanation in the translation itself. He is trying to give full explanation also, elaborately. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking to Sukadeva Goswami, O Brahmana, how did the Lord, Katham Bhagavan, how did the Lord, the best friend of all beings, Suhrud, Sama, Priya, Bhutanam, how did Swayam Bhagavan, who is Sama, equal to all, who is Priya, dear to all, who is Suhrud, well-wisher to all, who is Brahman, with the source of all, who is equal and affectionate to all beings, kill the demons for Indra as a partial. Indrasya arte, for the sake of Indra, Katam, how? Daityan avadid vishamoyata. As a partial, how could the Lord kills all the asuras for the sake of Indra, to help Indra? What is this? Few days back, we also celebrated Vamana Dwadashi. Vamana Dwadashi, it is very clear. Lord Vamana appeared to help the Devatas as the son of Aditi. And he took 3 pairs of land from Bali Maharaj and took away everything from him. Very partial. We can very easily understand. And Parikshit Maharaj is asking this question because he heard something in the previous canto. Canto 6, chapter 18, text number 23. It was said that Diti, whose two sons had been killed by the Lord Vishnu after he was instigated by Indra, burned with anger inflamed by lamentation. Indra was burned with anger and inflamed by lamentation because Indra was utterly defeated by Hiranyaksha and he was tortured by Hiranyakashipu. So then Indra and other devatas prayed to Lord, and Lord appeared as Varaha and killed Hiranyaksha, appeared as Narasimha and killed Prahlad. So both the sons of Diti were killed by Lord Vishnu in order to help Indra. It is very clear. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking, how can Lord acts like that, as if he is very partial to devatas? The intention of Parikshit Maharaj is asking is, nobody should blame my Lord. So people should not criticize my Lord, saying that Lord is partial to his devotees. What is this? So please establish according to Tatvataha. King Parikshit, as if not tolerating partiality of Lord Vishnu in favoring Indra, but actually understanding the truth, desired to release the nectar of the conclusion from the mouth of Sukadeva Goswami. Therefore, he asked this question in 3 verses. Parikshit Maharaj knows about all these things. He is born and brought up in devotee family, and all the sages used to visit him, and he know all these things. But still, he is asking to hear about how Lord, in spite of being impartial to everyone, but he always acts for the well-being of his devotees. So you want to establish simultaneously Lord is impartial as well as partial also. That tattva Parikshit Maharaj want to establish. That's why he is asking Sukadeva Goswami to speak about this. If Sukadeva Goswami speaks about it, no one can question in that way. If the Lord is equal, how can he show partiality? If he is affectionate to all beings, why is the Lord not affectionate to the demons? If he is the friend of all beings, why is he not friendly to the demons? So even Shastra says that Sama, Priya, Suhrud. But where is that Sama, where is that Priya, where is that Suhrud? We don't see. So as if he does not know, he is asking. Because he want to hear from the mouth of Sukadeva Goswami. Then he further says, Nahi asyartha suraganai
नहि अस्यार्थसुरगणैः
साक्षान्निःश्रेयसात्मनः
साक्षान्निःश्रेयसात्मना
नैवासुरेभ्यो विद्वेषो
नैवासुरेभ्यो विद्वेषो
नोद्वेगश्चानुगस्य हि
नोद्वेगश्चागुणस्य हि. Lord Vishnu himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the reservoir of all pleasure. Therefore, what benefit would he derive from siding with the demigods? What interest would he fulfill in this way? Since the Lord is transcendental, why should he fear the Asuras, and how could he be envious to them?
Yeah. Nahi asya artha suraganai sakshan nishreyasatmanaha. Your Lord is described as Nishreyasa Atmanaha. So this is one of the important attribute of the Supreme Lord. Whatever Lord does, he does not have any selfish motive in that. So how is that? How is that a Nishreyas Atmana person acting as if partial to Devatas? So I want to know. The Lord, who has a form of pure bliss, has nothing to gain from siding with the Devatas. What will he achieve by siding the Devatas? And the Lord, because he is without material qualities, cannot have hatred or fear of the demons. Is the Lord is hating their demons, that's why he is killing them? Or is the Lord is afraid of their demons, that's why he is killing them? Is it because of that? So please tell me. One cannot say that the Lord will derive happiness from the Devatas and thus siding with them. He has a Swarupa of the highest bliss, Atma Nishreyasa. Matlab Lord Swami is completely made up of bliss, Anandamayo Abhyasat, Sachidananda Swarupa. So why does he need to gain something from the devatas by siding them? So one may think that, okay, Lord is going to get something, that's why he's helping devatas. So he does not need anything from him because Lord is the supremost Atma Rama. So in that way, nothing else can produce happiness in him because he's self-sufficient, self-satisfied. And one cannot say that the disturbances of the demons make him suffer.
Prabhuji, no voice.
Now, Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Now it is
Now
visible.
able to listen.
Audible.
Okay,
Prabhuji,
okay,
but
thank you.
we are not able to see the screen.
Yeah, I only removed that to start. Yeah. Now you are able to see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So basically the point is, the Lord who has a form of pure bliss has nothing to gain from siding the devatas. So one may say that, okay, no, Lord is siding the devatas because he's going to get something from them. But what does he get from them? He has a Swarupa of the highest bliss, Atma Nishresa. His form is Sachidananda Swarupa. He does not gain anything from them. Nothing, because he is Atma Rama also, and nothing else from outside can give him happiness. And one cannot say that the disturbances of the demons make him suffer, and thus he hates them. As a result of that, he wants to kill them. No. Lord has no envy, Lord has no anxiety, Lord has no hatred toward the asuras. As a result of that, he is killing them. The envy, hatred, anxiety, they are all meant for living entities who are in three modes. Because the Lord is beyond three modes, agunasya. Idarna? Agunasya. He is beyond three modes. We cannot see all these qualities in the Supreme Lord. Envy, hatred, anxiety, fear. All these qualities are only seen in those people who are affected by three modes. Somebody who is beyond three modes, he has no such this thing. Brahmabhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshati. Samas sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktin labate param. Even a self-realized Jivatma sees everyone equally. Can't the Lord see everyone equally? Is Lord conditioned soul to see friends and enemies? So like that. That's how we have to understand. Now, finally Parishit Maharaj says, Itina sumahabhaga.
Iti naha suma. Iti naha suma. So, continue, Mataji. Okay. Iti naha sam. Sorry.
Narayana gunan prati.
Narayana gunal prati.
Samshaya sumahan jatas.
Sanshah sumaha jata.
Tadbhavam chetumarhati.
Tadbhavanchetu marhati.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
also read the
greatly
translation.
fortunate.
Hmm.
Oh, greatly fortunate and learned Brahmanas. Whether Narayana is partial or impartial has become a subject of great doubt. Kindly dispel my doubt with positive evidence that Narayana is always neutral and equal to everyone.
Hmm. O Mahabhaga, O greatly fortunate sage, kindly dispel this great doubt I have concerning the favoritism and ill will of Lord Narayana. So people might criticize the Lord. So Lord is ill-minded, Lord has favoritism toward the devatas like that. So people might say, I don't want to hear such kind of criticism about my Lord. Please establish everything Tattvataha. This is the request of Parikshit Maharaj. Gunan means Narayana's displaying of favoring and disfavoring. So of course, these are the questions. Now our Parikshit Maharaj, the Sukadeva Goswami is going to answer these questions. But before that, anybody has any question till now?
No problem.
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. So we'll see from text number 4 to 12 how Sukadeva Goswami himself establishes Lord's impartial or partial nature. Whether Lord is partial or impartial, he himself established. Then he'll say that, hey, my dear king, just like you asked the question, your grandfather also asked the same question to Narada Muni. And see what kind of answer Narada Muni gave. And he will tell the answer of Narada Muni also. So both the things are interrelated. We'll try to see both. Sri Rushiruvacha
Sri
Shri
Rushi Vacha
Sadhuprishtam Maharaja
Sadhu Prishtam Maharaja
Hares Charitam Adbhutam
Haresh Charitam Adbhutam
Yad Bhagavata Mahatmyam
Yad Bhagavata Mahatmyam
Bhagavad Bhakti Vardhanam
Bhagavad Bhakti Vardhanam
Giyate Paramam Punyam
Iyate Paramam Punyam
Rushabir Naradadibihi
Drushibi Naradabi
Natva Krishnaya Munaye
Natva Krishnaya Munaye
Katayishe Hare Katam.
Kathayishe Hare Katha. The great sage Shukadeva Goswami said, My dear king, you have put before me an excellent question. Discourses concerning the activities of the Lord, in which the glories of his devotees are also found, are extremely pleasing to devotees. Such wonderful topics always counteract the miseries of the materialistic way of life. Therefore, great sages like Narad always speak upon Srimad Bhagavatam because it gives one the facility to hear and chant about the wonderful activities of the Lord. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Vyasadeva and then begin describing topics concerning the activities of Lord Hari. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. 1 second. Yeah. Thank you. So here, Uday Goswami is responding. Sadhu Prishtam Maharaja Hare Charitam Adbhutam Yed Bhagavata Mahatmyam Bhagavad Bhakti Vardhanam Giyate Paramam Punyam Rishibir Naradadibi Natva Krishnaya Munaye Katayishe Hare Katam. So very nice words. He says that, oh great king, you have asked the correct question, Sadhu Prishtam. This word Sadhu Prishtam comes many times in the entire Bhagavatam. At the very beginning of the Bhagavatam, in the very second chapter, after hearing the questions asked by the sages of Naimisharanya, Suta Goswami says, very nice verse at the very beginning. So verse number, I think, text number 5. Munaya sadhu prushtoham bhavadbir lokamangalam yatkrita krishna samprashno yenatma suprasidati. Munaya sadhu prushtoham. Oh sages, you asked the best question unto me. And the answer to this question is bhavadbir lokamangalam. This question will award mangalam not only to the all of you, but to the entire universe. Because Yatkrita Krishna Samprashno, your questions are in related to Krishna and his expansions. Enatma Suprasidati. Such kind of questions and such kind of answers will completely satisfy the soul. Nothing else in this world satisfy the soul. Only such kind of questions an answer to such kind of questions, which are beneficial not only for the people who are asking, but beneficial to the entire universe. So, Suta Goswami glorified the questions asked by sages of Naimisharanya. Similarly, Sukadeva Goswami also glorified at the very beginning of second canto, the very first verse. He said that Varyan Eshate Prashna Kruto Loka Hitam Rupa Atmavis Sammata Pumsham Shrotavyadishu Yappara. He said, Varyan Eshate Prashna. Your question is the best question. There is nothing better than this in the entire universe. What question Parikshit Maharaj asked Sukadeva Goswami? Anyone remember? Not the English translation, but the shloka. Yes,
This Prabhuji. First question.
you figure out. I told what the verse I am
Yeah,
speaking is the first verse of
why
second
Lord
canto.
is so partial to Devatas?
No, you people have forgot everything. I am saying Sukadeva Goswami glorifying Parikshit Maharaj in the second canto, first chapter, first verse, for a question asked by Parikshit Maharaj. So, what was the question asked by Parikshit Maharaj? He said, Kruto
What
lokam
is
hitam rupa.
of ultimate benefit to all the humans, and what one should do at the time of death?
No, I don't want English translation. I want shloka.
Shloka.
English translation anybody can tell. You people are Bhakti Vaibhav students. You should speak everything in shlokas, not English translations.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Other devotees, anybody can try. आप लोग एग्जाम में लिखा भूल गया.
Not able to recall, Prabhuji.
Ah,
Hare
First,
Krishna.
you give
if
first shloka.
if we don't recall this shloka, then what we will do? The entire Bhagavatam is answer to this question. हम आंसर पढ़ रहे but question भूल गए.
That Dehapatya Kalatradhishva. That
No.
shloka.
That no. I am question is asked by Parikshit Maharaj in the last part of the first canto.
At the time of death, what that was the slogan.
Whatever the shloka, you tell me the shloka. Yes, that shloka only. What Mataji said and what you are saying. That shloka only, you should tell the shloka. Even
Hare
some of
Krishna.
you can open Bhagavatam and tell the shloka. No problem.
The Yat Shrotavyam Atho Japyam. That one.
Yeah, you are very close. You are very close.
Okay.
But one shloka before that.
Atah Prachami Samsiddhim Yoginam Paramam Gurum Purushasyeha Yat Karyam Miryamanasya Sarvatha.
You are recalling the shloka or reading the shloka
No,
from the
I'm
book,
reading,
Mataji?
Prabhuji. I'm reading. I've opened
Okay. No problem. At least you are able to point out it where it is. That itself is great.
It's
This was the
119.
question. 119,
37.
37 and 38, both the shlokas. But first shloka is Ata Pruchami Samsiddhim Yoginam Paramam Guru Purushasyeha Yatkaryam Muryamanasya Sarvada. Please tell me what is the Samsiddhi. And please tell me what one should do in order to attain that. What one should do? That one has two conditions. One who has long life, one who has short life, like me. So what they are supposed to do in order to attain that highest destiny? So for that question, Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami is saying that Variyan Eshate Prashna. There could be no better question than this in the entire universe. Yes or no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
But for us, there are many better questions. When will I get a job? For those who are studying, and after job, somebody might be having the question that when will I get married? And afterward, when will I get increment? When will I get promotion? When will I become the CEO? When will I do this? When will I do that? So we have so many other important questions in life. But the question asked by Parikshit Maharaj, according to Sukadeva Goswami, there is no better question than this. For that, why? Kruto loka hitam rupa. Your question will benefit the entire universe. Our questions that we ask day in day out, they does not even benefit us. Then what to speak of benefiting the entire universe? Atmavi sammata pumsham shrotavyadishu yappara. Among all those and among all those great souls, they all agree to me. Whatever I'm saying, they all agree to me. Because your question is such a wonderful question. No one can think of all these things. So like that. So in that way, he was glorified. Even same way, third canto, chapter 5. After Vidura approached Maitreya Muni and he asked some questions. For which? For those questions which Vidura asked Maitreya, first Sukadeva Goswami glorifies Vidura, then Maitreya also glorifies Vidura. Both of them glorified. Sukadeva Goswami says that this is from the third canto, chapter 5. Sri Shuka Uvacha. Sayevam Bhagavan Prishta Shatra Kausharavo Muni Pumsham Nishreya Sartena Tam Aha Bahumanayan. Why Sukadeva Goswami glorifying the questions asked by Vidura? Because Vidura's questions are meant for the ultimate perfection of all the living entities. These great souls, apparently the question may seem that they are asking for their own benefit, but actually the questions are meant for the benefit of the entire universe. They are not selfish people, but they portray themselves as the most selfish people. As if they ask the questions that, okay, I'm in great trouble, please help me, please help me. No, more than me, the people out there are in the greatest trouble. Please help them accepting me as a means for their deliverance. So, like that. So, then the next verse, Maitreya tells, Sadhu Prishtam Tvaya Sadhu, Lokan Sadhu Anugrahata. 3 times Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Kirtim Vitanvata Loke, Atmano Adaksha Atmanaha. The question which you have asked, the best question, there is nothing better than this in this world. Why you are able to ask a question? Because in the core of your heart, you have Adokshaja. The Supreme Lord is situated in the very core of your heart. That's what Maitreya tells about Vidura. Even Vidura, when he comes back to Astinapur, when Yudhishthir Maharaj receives him, at that time, Yudhishthir Maharaj also tells the same thing. How Vidura continuously carries the Supreme Lord in the core of his heart. He says, Bhavadvida Bhagavatas Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho. My dear uncle, you are Tirtha Bhuta. You are the holy place personified. We don't have to go to Kashi, Prayag to visit holy places. Wherever people like you are there, that itself is holy place. The holy place personified. The Bhagavatas like you are holy place personified. Why? Tirthi kurvanti tirthani. You people make the holy place a holy place. By you visiting a holy place, that place becomes holy. Even wherever you visit, even an ordinary place also becomes holy by your presence. Why? Swa antastena gadabruta. The gadabruta, the Supreme Lord who holds gada in his hand, is always situated in your heart. As a result of that, wherever you go, whichever place you go, whether it is ordinary place or holy place, they become holy place. Such kind of person will always ask question which is for the benefit of the entire universe. They don't have any selfishness in their heart. So, like this, in the Bhagavatam, if you recollect, many places when there is a question, there is a glorification of the question immediately. because the questions are not limited to one person. The questions are extending to entire universe. The answer to those questions will award the ultimate benefit to the entire universe. So like that. Same way here also, Sukadeva Goswami is saying that Sadhu Prishtam Maharaja Haresh Charitam Adbhutam Yad Bhagavata Mahatmyam Bhagavad Bhakti Vardhanam. The answer to your questions are the discussion of Bhagavat Mahatmyam. The glories of Supreme Lord will be discussed. That will increase one's bhakti, Bhagavad Bhakti Vardhanam. How to cultivate, how to protect our bhakti? By hearing Bhagavat Mahatmyam, the glories of the Supreme Lord. So like that. Oh great King, you have asked the correct question, because in answer to that question, the astonishing activities of the Lord, Adbhuta Karya of the Supreme Lord, which increase bhakti and glorify the devotees, are sung by the sages like Narada Muni. Offering respect to Srila Vyasdeva, the writer of the entire Bhagavatam. Now I will speak about the Supreme Lord. Please hear. So he is glorifying Bhagavad Katha and is also offering obeisances to his spiritual master and father, Srila Vyasdeva. Because the question asked by Parikshit Maharaj is a loaded question, a grave question. Answer cannot be given just like that. A superficial answer cannot suffice the gravity of the question. So that's why he is offering obeisances to Srila Vyasdeva. He is requesting the empowerment from Srila Vyasdeva so that he can give the proper answer. And then he gives the answer, but he does not stop there. He says that he talks about the authority. What authorities and Bhagavad Tattva have said about this question? Please listen from the authorities. Who are the authorities? The Mahajanas. Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumaro, Kapilo, Manu. Prahlado, Janako, Bhishma, Balir, Vaiyasaki, Vayam. All these Mahajanas are the authority and the subject matter of Bhagavan. So this is my opinion. But our opinion should always corroborate with the opinion of the great authorities. Authorities and Bhagavad Tattva is Narada Muni. And Sukadeva Goswami quotes the answer of Narada Muni. So this is how we should give answers to any questions asked by anyone in front of us. First, we need to present our understanding about the answer. Then we need to quote the authorities. Then the answer becomes complete. If we only say our own answer, that is not complete. If you only quote authorities, the person in front of us may not understand it clearly. So we need to quote the authorities and we need to simplify it and present in our contemporary language. That's when the answer becomes complete. So like that. This is the correct question, because by that question the activities of the Lord must necessarily be described to answer you. In order to answer your question, I cannot answer just like that. I need to speak about the pastime of the Supreme Lord, because now the concept is Lord is partial or impartial. So the answer could be one statement also. Yeah, Lord is impartial. But how? So you need to give a case study. May not be one case study. You need to give multiple case studies. Then we can understand whether the Lord is partial or impartial. Just a philosophical answer may not give satisfaction to an inquisitive mind. There should be some case studies. There should be some examples. Then one can understand it. So that's why your answer will include the elaborate discussion of Lord's pastimes. And by analyzing why and how the Lord is acting under all the circumstances, we ourselves will understand if the Lord is partial or impartial. So like that. That is the way answer should be given. Here Sukadeva Goswami is establishing by his own personal example how to answer a loaded question. So now Sukadeva Goswami first giving his own opinion, his own understanding from text number 6 to 12. So let us see. Is it clear? Hare Krishna, any questions?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji, clear.
Yes, Prabhuji, clear. No.
Hare
क्लियर ही
Krishna,
नहीं. कभी
small
कभी कुछ
thing.
इंपॉर्टेंट श्लोकास याद रखने का, जो श्लोकास हमने अभी मैंने बताया था, वो श्लोकास और उसके पीछे पूछने वाला प्रश्न, इन सबको हमको हमेशा याद रखना पड़ता है. So that is very good to remember all such shlokas because they are very important and very relevant to our spiritual practices. Whenever we have some doubt, we can remember these shlokas. Then अभी याद
Prabhuji,
आएगा.
याद करने के बाद भूल जाते हैं. याद करने के बाद कंटिन्यूअस में नहीं रहता है ना, इसलिए भूल जाते हैं. इसलिए कंटिन्यूअस बनाने के लिए
why we forget?
because you are not in continuous. You are not every day you are chanting that sloka. Continuation में नहीं रहता.
Kalindi Jivana Manda Sumanda Matayo.
No, that is okay. But still, in spite of that, some people are able to remember and some people are not able to remember. What is the difference?
They are not practicing that sloka.
They teach others and use the shloka repeatedly.
Of course. We don't have to say teach or practice. We have to say that they are not talking about it. Unless until we talk about it to somebody, we can't remember it. Whatever we know, we should be discussing with others. Otherwise, what we know, it will die within ourselves. So, like that. Some motivation for today. Take home point.
So this is just small thing. You talked about the case study should be given, like you mentioned while answering any question.
Not
we
any
should
question, not any question. When the question is a loaded question, when the question is highly philosophical.
Okay. So first, our understanding, and then Acharya's thing should be quoted with the help of verses or something, and then the case
Okay.
study should be given. Means it
Yes.
readily.
Yes. That makes the answer complete.
Yeah.
See, somebody may say that आप कुछ भी बोलेंगे, why should I believe in you? Shastra is telling, Acharyas are telling. Then there is a pastime. The Lord is establishing it through a leela. Then who can refute it? Who can disagree to it?
Correct. Yeah.
See, somebody may question us.
Yeah.
Somebody may question our answer, but somebody cannot question Shastra, and somebody cannot question the pastime also.
Yes.
If somebody questioning Shastra, questioning the pastime also, then there is no point in talking to such a person.
Right. Only our understanding is there, anybody can shake it. But when we empower it with the Acharya's understanding and case studies from the Shastras, then it becomes a very solid thing.
Perfect.
This is a very nice point, Prabhuji, regarding discussions on questions. That you have to quote also, because we will not understand the authorities if we just quote. And if we just speak on our own, it will be like we are just speaking our own mind and realization. Very important. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Actually, Prabhuji, what happens, but what you mentioned about remembering the shlokas, yes, what you are telling, that is a very right method. But it happens that particular shloka, if we have learned and there is no opportunity to use that shloka, then even though we have learned it, written it in the exam, still the mind doesn't remember. I also feel very bad about it sometimes, that if I could remember all the shlokas, it will be so nice. But it doesn't happen like that.
So it is not like that. See, even I mean, for ourselves also, when we were in initial days of our training, we by hearted many shlokas from Bhagavad Gita. Because we don't recite them regularly, we don't discuss them regularly. Even I have also forgotten all the shlokas. Only some important key shlokas only I remember in Bhagavad Gita also. So the point I am saying is that the more we discuss, the more we remember. That is the only solution. Not by writing exams, not by speaking them in the class. Even not only in the class, even our casual discussions also, we should be speaking shlokas. That is the only way we can remember. Otherwise, slowly. Basically, what we don't regularly use, it becomes forgotten. So in that way, since all of you are Bhagavad Bhakti Vaibhav students, all of us, including me, are expected to memorize certain number of shlokas from Bhagavatam, because Bhakti Vaibhav means systematic training. The training as a important point of remembering the shlokas, memorizing the shlokas. So without which we may speak so many things on our own. As just now we are discussing, unless until we quote from Shastra, we quote authorities, we explain in connection with the past times, then what is the use of our speaking so much word jugglery? So in that way.
And here lectures now, those shlokas which are frequently quoted by other great speakers, वो थोड़े तो याद रह जाते हैं, but rest of them थोड़ा भूल जाते हैं. Yeah, we'll try. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. No problem for everyone. So even though some of us might be having the opportunity of preaching, some of us might not be having, but even in our casual discussions with our friends and relatives and devotees also, according to the uh, according to the opportunity, we can start saying some shlokas. So like that. So यहाँ पे ऐसा बोला गया करके. So that's how we try to start remembering some shlokas, some important shlokas, because these shlokas are very important. That's why I'm saying. See, one may not be able to remember everything. That is not possible also. And especially Grasa, they have 100,000 things to do at home and all these things. But still, in any case, few shlokas we need to remember. That too, few important shlokas, which are very essential for our sadhana bhakti. So in that way, this is just a food for home. So in that way. Okay, we'll continue. Yeah, in between some Mataji were trying to say something. You have any question, Mataji? We have kind of diverted. Okay. Nirgunopi ajo vyakto
निर्गुणोऽपि अजो व्यक्तो
Bhagavan prakrite para
भगवान् प्रकृते परः
swamaya gunamavishya
समाया गुणमाविश्य
badya badakatam gataha.
बाध्यबाधकतां गतः. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu is always transcendental to material qualities, and therefore he is called Nirguna, or without qualities. Because he is unborn, he does not have a material body to be subjected to attachment and hatred. Although the Lord is always above material existence, through his spiritual potency, he appeared and acted like an ordinary human being, accepting duties and obligations apparently like a conditioned soul.
Now, Sukadeva Goswami is answering. Nirguno api, ajo api, avyakto api, prakrite para api. So these are various attributes of Supreme Lord. Though the Lord is without material qualities, Nirguno api. Though the Lord is unborn, ajo api. Though the Lord is avyakto api, unmanifest. Though the Lord is prakrite paraha api. Though the Lord is superior to material nature. In spite of that, he enters into the three modes of material nature and appears to be the cause of subordination or prominence of a guna. Swamaya gunamavishya badya badakatam gataha. It is only a appearance, it is not real. It appears that the Lord enters into three modes and becomes badya and badaka. Badya means subordination. Badaka means prominence. In our vernacular language also we have these words Badya and Badaka. Badya is the affected party. Badaka is the one who is affecting others. So like that. So one may say that By entering into three modes, Lord is getting affected by three modes, and Lord himself has three modes affecting all of us. But this is only appearance. From some of the past times, you may think that. So Lord is also, yes, Lord also goes through karma. He also has to experience the results of karma. So he has become Badhya sometimes. Oh, he is the Lord of Maya. So he is inflicting pain upon me. Maya has three modes, and three modes are like Trishul. And through Trishul, Maya is poking me, pricking me, causing trouble. So this is the Lord is doing upon me. So sometimes you may say the Lord is Badaka, sometimes you may Lord is Badhya. So like that. Situated in the gunas, he seemed to be the cause of weakness or strength of a guna. The quality of unequal vision is imposed on the Lord, the controller of the gunas. So now, we may apparently say that Lord is becoming Badhya or Badaka of the three gunas. But who is Lord? Lord himself is Nirguna. This Badhya, Badaka are caused within three modes. But Lord himself is beyond three modes. And the three modes affect those people who are taking birth in this world. But Lord is unbound. Lord is Aja. So you should not be affected by three modes. And the three modes are affecting us who have a material body, who have the physical body made up of 24 elements. And Lord's body is transcendental. He is Avyakta. And we are Vyakta. And we are all under the control of Prakriti. But Lord is beyond Prakriti. How can a person who has these four attributes can come under the control of three modes? Either getting affected by three modes or with the help of three modes affecting all of us. How inappropriate to say that Lord is affected by three modes and Lord is affecting us through three modes. Because Lord has four attributes. The four attributes indicates that he has nothing to do with the gunas. He is Nirguna, he is Aja, he is Avyakta, he is Prakriti Para. So in the very first line, Sukadeva Goswami establishing who is the Lord. How does he related with the three modes of material nature? Just like that. So whatever we may think that okay, Lord is also getting affected by three modes, that is all simply a drama. It is as if Lord behaves as if he is affected by three modes, something like that. Because in all respects, he is beyond three modes. He is the master of three modes. Three modes have no capacity to affect the Lord. So like that. So now, what are the three modes? Who are these three modes? Sattvam, Rajas, Tamayiti.
सत्वं रजस्तमइति
Prakriternaatmano guna.
प्रकृतेर्नात्मनो गुणा
न तेषां युगपद्राजन्
न तेषां युगपद्राजन्
ह्रास उल्लास एव वा.
हलास उल्लास एव वा. Translation. My dear King Parikshit, the material qualities Sattva-guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna all belong to material world and do not even touch the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These three gunas cannot act by increasing or decreasing simultaneously. Hare Krishna.
Sattva, Rajas, Tamas belong to Prakriti and do not influence the Lord. The previous verse talked about who the Supreme Lord is. And now this verse talks about who are the three gunas, whom do they belong. The three gunas are Sattva, Rajas, Tamas and they belong to Prakriti. And they do not influence the Lord. O King, they do not increase or decrease simultaneously. And okay, they are not affecting the Lord, but they are affecting us. But how they are affecting us? A kind of detailed explanation will be given. In his Swarupa, the Lord is at all times equal to everyone. Since Lord is beyond three modes, Lord does not go through any dual behavior. Because the dualities are there, the dualities will manifest only in three modes. Since Lord is beyond three modes, there will be no dualities. As a result of that, we can, very first line, we can say, Lord is, because of these attributes, Lord is equal to everyone. The gunas belong to Prakriti and do not influence the Lord. This means that though Prakriti is Lord Shakti, it does not arise from his Swarupa. So now, Maya also is one of the energy of the Lord. So how can you say that Lord has nothing to do with Maya? The answer is yes, sir. Maya is also one of the energy of the Lord. But Maya is not an energy of his Antargata Shakti or Swarupa Shakti. That's why it does not have uh, any uh, controller over the Supreme Lord, controllership over Supreme Lord. Lord has given the authority to control him to his Antaranga Shakti, but not to his Bahiranga Shakti. Lord's Antaranga Shakti can control the Lord. Lord's devotees, Lord's Yogamaya can control the Lord, but not Lord's Bahiranga Shakti. Bahiranga Shakti can never ever control the Supreme Lord. Even though it is Lord's energy, but it is not the manifestation of Lord's Antargata Shakti, Lord's Swarupa Shakti. It is the manifestation of Lord's Bahiranga Shakti. So in that way. Because of that, Maya cannot influence the Supreme Lord. Instead, Maya can influence all of us. Whomsoever Maya influences, only in them we see dualities, partiality, impartiality. Of course, partiality is the part of duality. Friend, enemy, good, bad, happy, distress, etc. So impartiality is beyond dualities. So because anyway Lord is beyond three modes, Lord is supposed to be impartial. So it is without telling, it is already established. So like that. So now, one second. Then one more point he said, Harasa Ullasa Evava. So then somebody may question that, okay, three modes are there. Then why three modes are not equal to everyone? Some people have goodness more, some people have passion more, some people are ignorance more. Why? ज़्यादा कम क्यों हो रहा है? और even in one person also, morning goodness is there, daytime passion is there, and evening ignorance is there. Why these things are changing, continuously changing, and they are different for each person, and they are different for even one person within a day also. ये क्या चल रहा है? इतना चक्कर क्यों घुमा रहा है? Three modes. That is the question, and that will be answered in the next verses. Yes, Mataji.
Guruji here mentioned that Antaranga Shakti arises from the Swarupa of the Lord. So Bahiranga Shakti arises from what then?
Bahiranga Shakti arises from the shadow of the Swarupa Shakti. Brahma Samhita Shloka, remember. Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Reka. Chaye Vayasya Bhuvanani Vibharti Durga. Ichchana Rupam Apiyasya Jeshta Tesha Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Shaya. She is the shadow of the Antaranga Shakti. See, apparently the person and the person's shadow seems to be similar. As person is moving, the shadow also moves. As person is waving the hands, shadow also waves the hands. As person is jumping, shadow also jumps. But shadow is shadow, person is person. So like that. Shadow belongs to the person. Shadow cannot be the person. So like that. Okay.
Yes,
We'll continue. Jaya Kale tu Satvasya
जयाकाले तु सत्त्वस्य
Devarshin Rajaso Suran
देवर्षिन् रजसोऽसुरान्
Tamaso Yaksha Rakshamsi
तमसो यक्षरक्षांसि
तत्कालानुगुणो भजत.
तत्कालानुगुणो भजत्. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When the quality of goodness is prominent, the sages and demigods flourish with the help of that quality. With which they are infused and surcharged by the Supreme Lord. Similarly, when the mode of passion is prominent, the demons flourish. And when ignorance is prominent, the yakshas and rakshasas flourish. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is present in everyone's heart, fostering the reactions of Sattvaguna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna.
So now, Sukadeva Goswami is slowly explaining what it is. When sattva becomes prominent, the Lord favors the devatas and sages. Okay? Then there is mode of goodness, maximum portion. Then Lord helps the devatas. Similarly, when Rajoguna becomes prominent, the Lord favors the asuras. And also, when Tamoguna becomes prominent, Lord favors the Yakshas and Rakshasas. The Lord acts according to the dictates of time. In the previous verse, it is said that Lord does not listen to three modes because he is beyond. But in this verse, it is said that the Lord is acting according to the dictates of time. That means Lord has become subservient to time. ये क्या चल रहा है? So he is not becoming subservient to three modes, but he is becoming subservient to time. What is this? What do you mean by that? Tat kala anuguno bhavevajat. Lord only favorably disposed according to the current time. The current time is decided based on the prominence of the guna. Which guna is prominent? According to that guna, the Supreme Lord behaves in cooperation with that guna as if he was dictated by time. Time will tell. अभी mode of goodness का time है, you should act as if you are in mode of goodness. Now mode of passion का time है, you should act as if you are in the mode of passion. Now mode of ignorance का time है, you should act as if you are in mode of ignorance. Something like that. But in the future verses, it will be elaborated. So let us see what it means. The inequality of the Lord seen everywhere is based on the inequality of the gunas according to their increase or diminution. So one may say that the Lord is partial to the devatas, is not partial to the asuras and other people. So now the answer slowly is coming is, yeah, it appears like that. It is not the problem with the Lord. The problem is with the gunas. Lord is manifesting his partiality toward the devatas only when there is mode of prominence in mode of goodness. When there is prominence in mode of goodness, Lord is helping the devatas. And somebody may say that, but I am not seeing that Lord is helping the asuras when the mode of passion or ignorance are prominent. ऐसा कुछ उदाहरण है ही नहीं कभी भी. Lord is helping the asuras and others even though the mode of ignorance passion are prominent. For example, now in Kali Yuga, the mode of passion and ignorance are becoming prominent and prominent. So there could be two questions. First question is how Lord is helping Tamoguna and Rajoguna. Second thing is that why Lord is helping Tamoguna and Rajoguna. Why should you do that? Can't he understand that Rajoguna Tamoguna is not good? Such kind of questions we may have. But let us see what Sukadeva Goswami is telling. Diminution and increase do not occur for one guna at the same time. So he says that no, at one go, all the three modes cannot increase or cannot decrease also simultaneously. If one guna is increasing, other two gunas by default should decrease. The answer is like the volume of the entire universe is fixed. You cannot increase the volume. In that volume only, three objects should fill accordingly. If the volume is 100%, if mode of goodness is 90%, then 5% passion, 5% ignorance will be there. If passion is increasing, the mode of goodness should decrease. If passion is increasing from 5 to 45, the mode of goodness should decrease from 90 to 50. The space cannot expand. Space is fixed. Within that space, the three modes need to adjust among themselves. If one is increasing, other two should decrease. If the other two, which is less, is increasing, the one which is more should decrease. But all three simultaneously can neither increase nor decrease. So it is like that. By decrease or increase of the gunas, one can infer the decrease or increase of the devatas, demons, and rakshasas. Now, Sukadeva Goswami said that. So, what do you mean by Lord favoring the devatas or asuras? The meaning is, if in the entire universe the mode of goodness increasing, we start seeing devatas all over the universe in great number. If the mode of goodness is more, means the people in mode of goodness are more. If mode of passion is more, means the people in the mode of passion are more. If mode of ignorance is more, means the people in the mode of ignorance are more. It's basically the people who decide the prominence of the mode. If the majority of people are in the mode of goodness, the majority in the universe is mode of goodness. If majority of people in the mode of ignorance, the universe is said to be in ignorance. It's like that. Since the gunas themselves are insentient, they cannot increase or decrease on their own. The modes will increase only when the people increase in that particular mode. When there are so many devatas and rishis, obviously the entire universe is flooded with mode of goodness. And when there are so many asuras like Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, when they were ruling over Swarga, the devatas were hiding in the gufa. Matlab, they are as good as dead. So now the entire universe is filled with asuras. Wherever you go, there are asuras only. The mode of passion is prominent. When Ravana Kumbhakarna became the king of the heaven, the Rakshasas are spread everywhere. Wherever you go, the Rakshasas are only there. So that time the universe is filled with mode of ignorance. So like that. When people increase, the corresponding mode also will increase. The Lord must enter as their controller. Now the answer comes. Now, how come the Lord is impartial? Lord is impartial because he simply have to maintain. Maintain means what? Whatever is the demand of the majority of people, the demand should come into action. Like democracy. The same principle of democracy is there in the universe also. People say that now mode of goodness should prevail. Lord tells, yes, mode of goodness will prevail. Lord will help in such a way because he has to maintain. Because people want mode of goodness, Lord maintains and increases the mode of goodness. Similarly, when people want mode of ignorance, Lord will maintain and increase the mode of ignorance because that is the demand of the people. And Lord, being the maintainer, being the protector, so he has to fulfill the desire of the subjects. Whatever the subjects say, so Lord will allow that happen. What was that verse from Bhagavad Gita? Chapter 9, I suppose. The characteristics of Paramatma. What are the 4 or 5 characteristics of Paramatma? Anyone remember the verse from Bhagavad Gita? Huh? Sorry? Bhagavad Gita.
Prabhuji, aham kartur aham yajna, that one.
No, not that. Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasa Sharanam Suhrut Prabhava Pralayasthanam Nidanam Bijam Abhyayam. I think this is one verse from chapter 9 only, as far as I remember.
It's 18th verse, I think.
Yeah. So these are the attributes of Paramatma. He is Gati, he is Bharta, he is Prabhu, he is Sakshi, he is Nivasa, and he is Sharanam Suhrud, the well-wisher of the surrendered. Now people are, they are asking that we want Tamoguna, we want Tamoguna, because Lord is Nivasa, Sharanam Suhrud, he is Gati, he is Bharta, he is Prabhu, he is Sakshi. So he has to fulfill the demand of the majority population. Whoever is majority, they will prevail, and whatever is their mode, that mode will be maintained by the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord simply has to maintain. He will maintain according to the demand of the people. It is as simple as that. That's how Lord maintains the entire universe, as per the demand of the people who are living in the universe. वही हो रहा है ना? Now, most of us, we wanted to become the engineer. We joined in engineering college. We studied. We got grades. We attended the interviews. We got jobs, and we are working in so and so company. And so many things are happening because we wanted. We were facilitated by our parents. Same way, when we want something, the Supreme Lord, who is our Gati, Bharta, Prabhu, Sakshi, Nivasa, Sharanam, Suhrud, so he will facilitate whatever we want because he's supposed to maintain, that is the responsibility. So like that. The Lord must enter as their controller. When Sattva becomes prominent, he favors the Devatas and us sages. Because Sattva becomes prominent, matlab, Devatas and sages become majority. So Lord favors them, obviously. As much as Sattva becomes prominent, the body suitable for Sattva becomes prominent. That many people of Sattva will increase. Entering into their bodies, the Lord increases their strength and restricts the demons and Rakshasas. By keeping them in majority, by energizing them, he keeps other two modes subjugated. Similarly, when the mode of Rajoguna becomes prominent, he favors the demons. Similarly, when Tamas becomes prominent, he favors the Yakshas and Rakshasas. He acts in accordance with time. The same way, where Hiranyakashipu performs severe tapasya, as a result of that tapasya, they attained supreme powers. They immediately defeated Indra. Lord is helping them. Because of their tapasya, he increased the mode of passion throughout the universe. So immediately the Devatas Sattva reduced to 0 and Asuras Rajoguna became 100%. And they were everywhere, they spread everywhere. As soon as Hiranyakashipu defeated Indra, all over the universe we see Asuras only everywhere. Devatas were kept in the prison cell. Nowhere Devatas are seen outside prison hell. So simple. So like that. So here later on the point will be mentioned that apparently we may see that in the fights between Devata and Asura, Lord is coming and joining the Devatas party and defeating or killing the Asuras. But we never see the Lord joining the party of Asuras. Yes, sometimes Lord might be joining the party of Devatas, but generally, whenever the mode of goodness is prominent, Lord will increase the physical and mental strength of the Devatas. Similarly, when the mode of passion is prominent, Lord will increase the physical and mental strength of the Asuras. They become so confident, so physically strong, they can easily defeat the Devatas because of the Lord's presence in them. Same way, when the mode of ignorance becomes prominent, Lord enters into the people who are in mode of ignorance and increases their physical and mental strength. And they become powerful and they defeat Sattva and Rajoguni people. and they become the rulers of the entire universe. Thus, the cause of the increase of guna is time from Satyayuga to Kali Yuga, not the Lord himself. It is the people who decide which guna they want, not the Lord. Lord is only simply facilitating, like the parents are facilitating the demands of the children. Similarly, Lord is facilitating the demands of the living entities. In Satyayuga, the most of the people were asking for Sattva Lord was giving Sattva. In Treta Yuga, Lord people were asking about Sattva and Raja. Lord gave that. In Dwapara Yuga, people were asking Raja and Tama. Lord gave that. In Kali Yuga, people only ask Tamoguna. Lord will give that. That's what the demand of the people. Lord will give that. So it is like this. Able to follow? Devotees, all of the devotees?
Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Mataji.
Prabhuji, there are few confusion. Like when it is said that when particular mode increases, Lord favors either the asuras or the people in that particular mode. So this the means suppose this is the time for sattva guna that is decided first, and then the people who will be more in sattva guna, there kind of there is a rise in such personalities, or because there is a rise in sattva guni people, it is called that this is a time for sattva guna.
Yes, the later part is correct.
Okay.
Because the people who are in Sattva increase and they request the Lord to maintain Sattva then Lord Sattva becomes prominent.
Okay. And the last line mentioned here is he acts in accordance with time. The cause of the increase of a guna is time, not the Lord himself. So, but the time is Lord himself. Now, like how we understand.
No, it's okay. Because the point is said that Lord is acting and according to time means how and why. Because now people demanding, whoever is demanding, it is their time. So Lord simply follows according to their time, according to their wish. So in that way, because Lord is only facilitator, he can only facilitate when you ask and whatever you ask. And you are asking is it means the time is under your control. Now the time is yours. You have the authority to decide what you want. So in that way.
Okay. But then in that case, Prabhuji, it doesn't become clear that why at a particular time Satvaguni people rise, or why at a particular time Tamoguni people rise, or it is according to the yugas, how they are going to,
See, they are there, but see, not like that. Now, for now, you should not see like that. For now, you should see that as the people of mode of goodness increase, it is their time. As soon as the people of mode of ignorance will increase, now time is theirs. Time means the power is theirs. Because they are majority. So whatever they say, that should be done. So like that. Till now, we might have heard many times that okay, Sattva the Satya Yuga is for the Sattva Guna, other yugas, other gunas are there. That guna will decide. Actually, right now we are trying to understand correctly. It is not the guna which is deciding; it is the people who are deciding. According to people's demand, the gunas will manifest, the time will manifest, and the Lord also has to respond according to their demand only. Even though Lord is independent, because he has taken the responsibility of maintaining the universe, since the universe is filled with this majority of the people, so he has to maintain them according to the way they want to be maintained. Lord cannot put his own rules upon the people.
Okay. I'm sorry, Prabhuji, but this is quite difficult to understand, because suppose Tamoguni people have increased, and because they have increased, it is the Lord will now favor the Tamoguni demands like that.
Yes.
So Lord is in Shuddha Sattva Guna. So why would he? And he means he says that
Forget about the Lord. Forget about the Lord. All of you are parents. Most of you are parents, na? You might be having multiple children. Sometimes
Okay.
some children are obedient. Sometimes some children are naughty, and some children are very much disturbing also. How do you deal?
Sometimes for the naughty children, sometimes punishment, sometimes little bit making them understand or little bit favoring them like that. And for Sattvagunni people, we will give them the encouragement because they will anyways, they will need
But
little
in any case, what is the primary duty of the parents?
to make
We
sure
deal
that
differently.
everyone
Whether
is
they
safe.
may be obedient or they may be naughty or they may be disobedient also, the basic facilities you will provide. You don't discriminate in that basic facilities.
Yes.
So that is the maintenance. The maintenance is providing the basic facilities. And then favoritism leads to obedience of the people. When the people are obedient, you may be a little extra inclined to them. That is because of the obedience. But otherwise, just by being the parent, it is the responsibility of the parent to provide the basic necessities of the children, whoever maybe they are. So same way, since Lord Vishnu accepted the role of the maintenance of the entire universe, immaterial to which mode is prominent, he has to provide the nourishment and improvement of that particular mode when people are deciding that. People are wanting that. But that doesn't mean that Lord is simply allowing people to do whatever they want. Lord has established a rule. If you do this, you will get this. If you do this, you will get this. But in spite of that, if you only want this, you take it. But also, you take the responsibility of the corresponding result also. So like that. When one of our naughty child, they say that I want to play with fire, play with fire. First parents will say that don't use it. But when he is adamant, parents will tell, okay, you play with fire. If something happens, I will not be responsible. So something like that.
Okay,
The
thank you.
maintenance is a very, very tough job. Utna easy nahi.
Yeah, thank you.
That's why for maintenance, Lord becomes Paramatma. He does not act as a Bhagavan in the time of maintenance. As a Paramatma, he will be in mode of, he will be in Yoga Nidra. And he will tell, okay, आपको जो चाहिए वो ले लो. I am in Yoga Nidra. Paramatma is in Yoga Nidra. That's why we have gala time to demand whatever we want. If the parents, if the children are there, if the children are not in the visible range of the parents, and from far distant they are calling, oh my dear father, I have so and so thing, please send me some money. The parents by default they send money because parent is at a far distant. He has, I mean, he trust because not only trust, he has the responsibility. When children need something, he will give. But how they use that pocket money is up to the children, and they will have to be responsible for that. That is also there.
Okay, Praveen, thank you.
Just like a father provides the needs of the children, similarly, the Supreme Lord provides the needs of the people, whatever they want. Okay. Any other devotees have any question?
No, Prabhuji.
देखो प्रभु जी
हाँ, yes, Mataji.
प्रभु जी आपने कहा भगवान योग मेंटेनेंस में भगवान योग निद्रा में रहते हैं आई डिडंट अंडरस्टैंड दैट
Yeah, Paramatma, Shuradaksha Vishnu is in Yoga Nidra only. He is not
प्रभु जी
seeing
परम
what.
He said, as a Paramatma, he is in our heart only.
No, there are two aspects. One Paramatma is in the heart of each and every living entity. But the original Paramatma, Shuradaksha Vishnu, is in Dhruva. He is in Yoga Nidra.
Okay.
He himself is expanding in each and every heart and residing as Antaryami. But he is there in the Dhruva also. Shuradaksha Vishnu. And both of them, in our heart also is in Yoga Nidra, in Dhruva also is in Yoga Nidra.
प्रभु जी वो तो हमको गाइड करते हैं ना एज ए चैत्य गुरु.
हाँ,
परमात्मा हमको एज ए चैत्य गुरु गाइड करते हैं ना.
guide, more than guiding, he empowers us. He has already given us certain intelligence, certain ability of the senses. So do whatever you want. Not that he is guiding each and every second. आप ऐसा करो, वैसा मत करो, ऐसा मत करो. ऐसा Lord will never give such kind of counseling. As Paramatma, he would never give such kind of counseling. When we replace Paramatma with Bhagavan, by the practice of Bhakti, by our complete surrender to Supreme Lord, then Bhagavan may guide us, but not Paramatma.
Okay.
Guiding means instant by instant. But Paramatma normally empowers. Okay, आपको कौन सा चाहिए? तमोगुण. Okay, ले लो. जो करना है कर लो. बस हो गया. At the time of birth, we are born with certain type of intelligence, certain type of bodily features, certain type of senses. That's all. In the entire life, we have to live with them. We cannot change. अरे मेरा बुद्धि में बहुत कमी हो गया, मैं बुद्धि चेंज करना चाहता हूँ, वो चेंज नहीं होगा. हमको बुद्धि के साथ ही रहना पड़ेगा जीवन भर. आपको अच्छा बुद्धि चाहिए तो ये शरीर को त्याग करके दूसरा शरीर स्वीकार करना पड़ेगा. So it is like that.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very good.
Okay. Fine. We'll go ahead. An example is given to show how, with the increase or decrease of a guna, the body is suitable to guna increase or decrease. Now, with an example is giving. Jyotir aderiva bhati
ज्योतिरादिरिवा भाति
sangatanna vivichyate
संगाताना विविच्यते
vidanti atmanam atmastam
विदन्ति आत्मानमात्मस्थम्
mahitva kavayontata.
मथित्वा कवयोन्तता.
Okay.
The all-pervading personality of Godhead exists within the heart of every living being, and an expert thinker can perceive how he is present there to a large or small extent. Just as one can understand the supply of fire in wood, the water in water pot, or the sky within a pot, one can understand whether a living entity is a demon or a demigod by understanding that living entity's devotional performance. A thoughtful man can understand how much a person is favored by the Supreme Lord by seeing his action.
Now, with the help of an example, Sukadeva Goswami is saying that how Lord is also helping Asuras and Rakshasas, even though we can't see it. So, Lord helping Devatas, externally we see Lord is fighting along with the Devatas against the Asuras. So, उधर तो साफ साफ दिखाई देते हैं. But that is not the Lord's help. Lord as the maintainer, Lord as Paramatma, that is not the maintenance. There, Lord is joining the party of the Devatas as Bhagavan. That is not favoring mode of goodness. Lord's favoring mode of goodness is enabling the Devatas with physical and mental strength. Just the same way, he enables the asuras and rakshasas with the mental and physical strength when those modes are prominent. So, like that. The Lord resides in all beings, just as fire resides in wood, water resides in cup, or ether resides in a pot. But he is not perceived when one sees material bodies. When we see a matka, we only see matka. We don't see the space inside the matka. We don't see the ether inside the matka. Same way, when there is a cup, we don't know whether water is inside or not from far distant. There could be water inside, but from outside, we only see the cup. We can't see what is there inside the cup. Same way, when we see the wood, we only see the wood, but there is fire inside the wood also. We can't see that. The wise know the Paramatma situated in all beings by inferring him through the effects after discarding false doctrines. So people only say that, hey, so Lord Vishnu is fighting along with the Devatas and is killing Asuras. Oh, साफ साफ दिखाई दे रहे. But the people in knowledge, they say that that is not the act of Paramatma. That is Bhagavan, who is one among the Devatas. But Paramatma, what Paramatma is doing, it is invisible. We can only understand by the effects. If the Devatas are victorious, that means the Paramatma favoring the Devatas. If Asuras are victorious, Paramatma is favoring the Asuras. If Rakshasas are victorious, Paramatma is favoring the Rakshasas. That's how we understand where Paramatma is facilitating now, where Paramatma is situated currently. That way we can understand it. Fire is latent in wood, water is in a cup, and ether in a pot. When there is more wood, there is more fire. When there is less wood, there is less fire. Simple. When you have more wood, you will get more fire. That means the more wood will have more fire. When there are more Sattvaguni people, there is more Sattvaguna. When there are more Rajoguna people, there is more Rajoguna. So people will decide which mode should prevail. Whoever is majority, they will win. Definitely default. Similarly, when there is more Sattva, encouraging to Devatas, there are more forms of Devatas. When there is more Sattvaguna, Devatas produce more and more children and they spread all over the universe. They are seen in majority. At that time, Rajas favoring the demons decreases and there are less demons. Obviously, when the Devatas are in power, the Asuras have to hide themselves. They have to go to incognito and they cannot be seen outside world. So we assume that okay, Asuras are nowhere seen. So they become insignificant, null. If the demons are suppressed and the Devatas are the suppressors, one can say that the Lord favors the Devatas and disfavors the demons. Because no more Devatas, more goodness, Lord has to favor goodness. So who are in goodness, they will be victorious. They will be in rule. When Rajas increases, then one can say that the Lord favors the demons and disfavor the Devatas. When Asuras and Rakshasas become powerful, they become prominent and become powerful, they will defeat the Devatas and they rule the entire universe. So Lord is allowing them to rule because their mode is prominent. So Lord has to facilitate their demands. From the common viewpoint, this may seem like favoritism, but it is not. For when Sattva becomes prominent, the Lord favors the Devatas, and when Sattva is not prominent, he does not favor the Devatas. So where is the partiality in the Lord? There is not at all partiality in the Lord. He is simply facilitating the demands of the majority of the people. In the example, we can understand by our intelligence that fire resides in wood. That is fine. Example is clear. But do we perceive the Lord in the bodies of the Devatas, demons, and Rakshasas? Abhi, even though we don't see the fire, but we apparently we accept fire is there in the wood, because when we burn, we see the fire coming out. So how can you tell that the Lord is situated in the Devatas, Asuras and Rakshasas also? Even if you say the Lord is there in the Devatas, I agree. But how can I agree Lord in the Asuras and Devatas, Asuras, Asuras and Rakshasas also? How can I agree that? There could be a question like that. Now the answer is, by seeing the bodies of the Devatas and others, one cannot conclude the Lord's existence. The Lord is not perceived like others. So Lord cannot be pursued one among the Devatas or one among the Asuras or one among the Rakshasas. Not like that. Then how do we know that he is favoring them? Only the skillful people, Kavayaha, who know the Paramatma, by inferring through the effects, can understand whom Paramatma is favoring currently. Only the knowledgeable people can understand that. They know at the end, after rejecting theories like Svabhavavada and Karmavada, these people can establish properly without disturbed by other superficial theories such as Karmavada, Svabhavavada, etc. etc. The Lord favoring Indra sometimes kills the demons in sight of everyone. Now the same question. Abhi dekho, when he is favoring Devatas, he is personally there. He is killing the Asuras. So saaf saaf dikhai de rahe. But when he is favoring Asuras, he is never seen among the Asuras and killing the Devatas. That we don't see. Why? The Even though I told that is Bhagavan form, not Paramatma's form. Paramatma is the maintainer, is maintaining the entire universe without being visible. That is there. But there is another aspect to it also here. Now it is said. This is a little technical. Even I was also trying to understand this. You also try to understand. When Rajas and Tamas increase, sometimes the Lord favor the demons and rejects the Devatas. If that were so, then is equality is perfect. Yeah, if this is true, then it is perfect. But establish it. Don't simply say, but prove it. That Lord is also favoring Asuras and Rakshasas also, when the mode of ignorance and passion are prominent. Thus, the Lord is visible to various degrees in this world, in the Devatas and in the Asuras, for he resides internally. He is favoring someone is not by his external appearance. He is favoring someone is by his presence internally within them. Just like fire is inside the wood, ether is inside the pot, water is inside the cup. So like so now, but still same question. But we see the Lord among the Devatas. The answer given is, because of the prominence of Sattva in the Devatas and not being covered by Sattva, the Lord within them manifests at the form of Upendra, clearly like the moon. So there is two things. Why we are seeing the Lord among the Devatas? Why we are not seeing the Lord among the Asuras and Rakshasas when he is favoring them? Of course, theoretically we accept that he is favoring them, but practically I am not able to visualize that how is he favoring him. He should be standing along with them, then I can accept it is favoring them. But why is he not standing there? The answer is, he is standing there, but we can't see him. Because when he's standing there along with the Asuras and Rakshasas, he is covered by Tamoguna and Rajoguna. Even though Lord is there, when the Lord is covered by Tamoguna, Rajoguna, we cannot see him. It is like, even though sun is there, when the sun is covered by the clouds, we cannot see him. But the question is, but why am I seeing the Lord in Satvaguna? Why Satvaguna is not hiding him? The reason is, Lord is also a person of Satvaguna. Lord is made up of Shuddha Sattva. Devatas are made up of sattva guna. Even though sattva covers sattva, it remains visible. Just like when the clouds are covering the sun, we can't see the sun. When the darkness is covering the sun, we can't see the sun. But when the sun shine, which is mode of goodness, the daytime brightness, even though that is spreading all across the sun, even though the brightness is covering the sun, still we'll be able to see the sun. The mode of goodness is like the brightness of the day. The mode of passion is like the clouds, either in the daytime or nighttime. The mode of ignorance is like the nighttime. Nighttime completely cover the sun. Clouds also almost cover the sun. There could be some, okay, Lord is there, but is not visible. Some abhas can be there. But in the brightness, even though brightness is covering the sun with completeness, there is so much sunlight around sun, but still will be able to see the sun. In fact, the brightness will enable us to see the sun. That's why we get to see the Lord among the Devatas when he appears as Upendra in any avataras. Because Lord is Shuddha Sattva personified, Devatas are Sattva personified, who are compared to sunlight. So sunlight में Lord साफ साफ दिखाई देगा. And Tamoguna and Rajoguna, even though Lord is standing next to them, we can't see him because he is covered by the clouds or by the darkness. So this is the understanding of the Kavaya. Hare Krishna, is this example clear?
Yes, Prabhuji. Clear.
Because this example will give us the Shastric understanding that we can explain anybody. People may say that Bhagavan is Pakshapat. Even people even from Mahabharat, the Kauravas and us, they say that Krishna is Pandava Pakshapati. Arey Pandava Pakshapati kaha? The Pandavas ruled for small time than Kauravas. Kauravas only ruled for more time. So उतना समय तक Kauravas को रूल करने दिया, मतलब उनको भी मदद कर रहे. So like that. In spite of he standing next to them, because the Lord is because they and Lord, everyone is covered by mode of ignorance and mode of passion, we can't see him. Though the sun is there in the sky, currently rain season is still going on. When the clouds are covered, the clouds cover the entire sky, we can't see the sun even though he is there. Of course, every night when the darkness is covering the sun, we can't see him. That is tamoguna. It's like that. He is there, but we can't see him. That's why we say, oh, he is not helping. Kya? Not helping. Don't speak superficially. He is helping. That's why they are powerful during that time. So like that.
Prabhuji, like when we see that deities of Vrindavana, out of fear of the Yavanas, they were moved to Jaipur. So can we infer that maybe it was a time of Rajoguna, and that is why the Satvaguni devotees and the deities they were worshipping, they had to hide for a time being, and Lord favored the Rajoguni people like that. Is it
Yeah,
the right?
yes. Yeah, yes, that's like that. Mere the fact that some activity is happening because the Lord is favoring that mode to do the needful, to do its own desired activity.
But Prabhuji, suppose Lord does not favor that particular mode. He always favored Sattva Guna only because Lord favors the devotees. Na. So then what will happen? The other modes will
Then
automatically.
the place becomes Vaikunta. If Lord is not allowing the flourishment of Rajoguna and Tamoguna, the place becomes Vaikunta. This is what happening in the spiritual world.
So it is material world. That is why Lord has to means support sometimes the other gunas like
Not
that.
sometimes, always.
Oh.
It is the world of three gunas. This world is made up of three gunas. This world is not Lord's world. This is three gunas world. Even when Lord is here, he has to follow the dictates of three gunas or the people in three gunas.
Okay, I
He,
understood that.
he
All the
cannot
time,
have his own rule. He
yeah,
can have his own rule in his own world where three gunas are not there.
yeah. Okay, understood, Prabhuji. Because all the time I was thinking that why if the Lord does not support all the time, it will be Sattva Guna, no, it will be so nice.
Same way, you parents have to support your children. Because you are parents, you have to support. That is your responsibility. You cannot say that I cannot support.
Yeah, right.
Uh, you have become parent because you have son, son or daughter. If there are no children, you will not become parent only. Then you don't have any responsibility to support anybody.
Right.
Lord has become the parent of this world because Lord has children. And whatever the children want, the father has to give.
Understood, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
So this is as simple as our daily routine life. So now the same thing, whatever I just mentioned about the sun becoming visible under sunlight, sun becoming covered under clouds and darkness of the night, that is mentioned in the next paragraphs. Because of the prominence of tamas and rajas in water and other elements, and being covered by these gunas, sound, touch, smell, and taste are not clearly visible. Now, here, out of the five elements, earth, water, fire, and ether, fire is compared to mode of goodness. So, in the presence of sun, we can see everything clearly. We can perceive the form very clearly in the presence of sunlight. So, the sunlight or fire is compared to mode of goodness. It makes things visible. So, we are able to see the sun or the moon also. Upendra like clearly like the moon. So, that is there. But other modes are compared to other elements. Like we have earth, water, ether, and air. And they have the qualities of sound, touch, smell, and taste. And these four things, because they are in the mode of passion and ignorance, this is an example only. They cannot be perceived completely. That's how it is said. Are not clearly visible, being covered by the Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Even though they are there, but we cannot perceive them properly. But due to some sattva with rajas and tamas, and thus the impossibility of being completely covered over, there is perception of the sense objects when the object comes in contact with the gross sense organ, but not at a great distance. So, even though the Shabda, Sparsha, Gandha, and Rasa are made up of Rajoguna and Tamoguna, but they cannot be completely purely Rajoguna Tamoguna. They also have some component of Sattoguna. That small component of Sattoguna enables us to experience these tastes, experience the presence of these things. So, in that way. So, in the presence of fire, we can see the fire, we can see every object also. So this example may be a little bit tricky example. What do you mean by all these things? So my understanding is that, for example, even though there is a food item, like Bhagavad Gita 17th chapter talks about the food. Food is liked by the people in the mode of goodness. Food is liked by the people in the mode of passion. People liked by the people in the mode of ignorance. For example, take a person in the mode of ignorance and he is liking a certain kind of food, which is not at all liked by the person in the mode of goodness. So goodness wala bolenge, goodness ka food only tasty. The ignorant food is not at all tasty. But still that person experiences the taste how? Even though he may be prominently with good ignorance, but there is some component of goodness. that component of goodness is enabling him to experience the taste, not otherwise. That means our sense perception is only possible by goodness, not by ignorance and passion. Just like sun's presence cannot be experienced during the cloudy day or during the darkness. In order to experience the sun, during the time of the cloudy day, there should be some, in one corner, there should be some brightness. Sun may not be visible, but there should be some brightness. As a result of that, we can infer, yeah, sun is still there in the sky. And even in the night time also, we infer that sun is there. How? The moon is providing some brightness, which is reflecting the sunlight from the sun. That means we can never ever have 100% passion or 100% ignorance. Even though they may be prominent, they may go all the way up to 99% only. At least there will be 1% of goodness. That 1% of goodness will give us some understanding that yes, sun is there, sun is there, sun is there. Jitna bhi andhakar ho, sun is there. Jitna bhi badal ho, sun is also there. That is because of the presence of small tinge of goodness. As a result of that, even a ignorant person, even a passionate person can experience the taste, the sound, the smell. Because Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Punyo Gandha Prithvi Amcha. So Prithvi ka Punya Gandha Bhagavan. So Punya Gandha means Sattvic Gandha. But Tamasic person also experiencing Gandha because the Tamasic person also has some Sattva. As a result of that, is experiencing that Gandha. If there is no Sattva, so there will be no experience of Gandha. So like that, Gandha means the Punya Gandha. So in that way. Does an object with taste in contact with the tongue gives the experience of taste because there is some goodness? An object with a sound in ether in contact with the ear gives experience of sound. An object with coolness in contact with the skin gives the sensation of touch. A fragrant object in the air in contact with the nose gives the experience of smell. That means when there is even little sattva we start experiencing the wonderful qualities of each and every element. Then why not the presence of Supreme Lord? Similarly, by the predominance of Rajas and Tamas in demons and Rakshasas, and being covered by those gunas, the Lord within them is not clearly seen favoring them. Lord is favoring them, one may not see it clearly, but knowledgeable people can understand. Just like knowledgeable person looking at the moon in the night, he says that sun is also there. Even though we can't see sun, but sun is there because the moonlight is nothing but the reflection of sunlight. Even though when the entire sky is filled with clouds, an intelligent person will say that there is sun because that corner you see the sunlight is going that side and coming. So in that way, if the sun is covered by clouds, then it is not visible, not very visible. If it is not covered by the clouds and is covered with sunshine, it is very visible. Similarly, if the Lord is covered by tamas, then he is not visible, and if he is covered by sattva, he is visible. Well, with lack of clear perception of the Lord's partiality to the demons, how can we know it exists? The wise understand its existence by seeing the effects, such as the Devatas being defeated. The wise people understand that when Devatas are defeated, then they'll say that now the Lord is favoring Asuras. It is their time. अब चुप रहो कुछ समय के लिए. If you increase the mode of goodness, then Lord will favor you. उसके लिए प्रयास करो. It's like that. Though many times we may see, we may not see, but through effect we can understand. The knowledgeable people will understand through effects. Phalena parichayate. Based on the effect, they will say that where the Lord is situated, whom the Lord is favoring, etc., etc. Hare Krishna, devotees are able to follow?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, we are able to.
Yeah, we'll just try to cover next 3 verses till 12th. So this section is done. यदा सिसृक्षु पुरा आत्मना परो
यदा सिसृक्षुपुर आत्मना परो
रजसृजत्येष पृथक् स्वमायया
रजसृजत्येष पृथक् स्वमायया
सत्त्वं विचित्रासु रिरंशुरीश्वरः
तत्त्वं विचित्रा सुरीरं सुरीश्वरः
सैष्यमानस्तम ईरयत्यसौ
शयिष्यमाणस्तम ईरयत्यसौ. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead creates different types of bodies, offering a particular body to each living entity according to his character and fruitive actions, the Lord revives all the qualities of material nature, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. Then, as the Supersoul, he enters each body and influences the qualities of creation, maintenance, and annihilation, using Sattva-guna for maintenance, Rajoguna for creation, and Tamoguna for annihilation.
So, in one way, with the help of 3 gunas, Lord was helping the people in those gunas. And at the universe level, Lord is also doing creation, maintenance, and annihilation with the help of same 3 gunas. When the Lord desires to create bodies of the Jiva, he manifests Rajoguna by his energy. When he desires to have pastimes, he manifests Satoguna. When he desires to destroy, he inspires Tamoguna. One should not worry that the Lord is dependent on the gunas, even though according to the gunas he is visible to various degree. His creation of the gunas takes place without effort. So sometimes he is completely visible, sometimes he may not be visible, but Lord is favoring the 3 gunas in spite of being invisible. When the Lord desires to create the bodies for enjoyment of the jiva, हमारा इंद्रिय तृप्ति के लिए Lord creates our bodies. He manifests Rajoguna separately, which was previously situated in equilibrium. Before creation, all the 3 modes are in equilibrium. But in order to facilitate our fulfillment of desires, Lord increases Rajoguna. There will be creation. When he desires to enjoy in various bodies of the living entities to protect the righteous, he manifests Sattva-guna separately. When there is time for protecting the dharma of the universe, to reinstate the principles of dharma, Lord himself appears in the various avatars and Lord sends acharyas, Lord sends the devatas to do the needful. So by increasing Sattva-guna in that way. When he desires to destroy, he inspires Tamoguna separately. With the Tamoguna, the universe is destroyed through Lord Shiva. So thus, Lord by becoming Brahma creates, Lord by becoming Vishnu maintains, Lord by becoming avatars also maintain, and Lord by becoming Shiva destroys. This is how he does at the universal level also. At individual level, he is favoring them by following their demands. At the universal level, creates, maintains, and annihilates. The previous verse mentioned that when the Lord desires to create, he manifests Rajas. This would imply that the Lord is controlled by time. This verse rejects the idea. Somebody may say that, so now it is time of creation, he will create. Now it is time of destruction, he will destroy. Is it like that? Is it dictated by time? He says that no. Lord is the Lord of time also. He is not dictated by time, but because Lord is following, Lord is accepted the responsibility of fulfilling our desires, one among us is time also. So in that way, Lord simply facilitates the will of the time. In that way. Kalam charantam churujati shrayam.
कालं चरन्तं रतीशाश्रयम्
Pradhanapumbyam naradeva satyakrit.
Pradhanapumbya Naradeva Satyakrut. Translation. O great King, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the controller of the material and spiritual nature, energies, who is certainly the creator of entire cosmos, creates the time factor to allow the material energy and the living entity to act within the limits of time. Thus, the Supreme Personality is never under the time factor, not under the material energy. Hare Krishna.
O King, the Supreme Lord, creator of a real universe, creates time also. No, not like that. Lord is not simply following the dictates of time. In fact, he is the creator of time also, which acts as a cause, as an assistant to the Lord, and which exists along with Prakriti and Jiva. Time is acting as the personal secretary of the Supreme Lord. Personal secretary will tell, so my dear Lord, this is the time for this is the time for this. अभी ये meeting है, बाद में ये meeting है, वो meeting है. So boss follows. Just because boss is following as per the instruction of the personal assistant, that does not mean that personal assistant is the boss for the boss. Personal assistant will keep the track of what is supposed to happen when, and the boss will do the needful accordingly, as it is requested by the personal assistant. So like that. O King, the Lord creates time, which acts as the cause assisting the Lord, since time is a form of his action. So time is Lord's personal assistant, which will take care of what is supposed to happen when, etc. The meaning is this: when the Lord desires to create by his will, by his own will, the time for creation which increases rajas appears. When the Lord desires to maintain, the time for protection which increases with increase of sattva will appear. When the Lord desires to destroy, the time of destruction with increase of tamas will appear. Just like boss says, so call for a meeting. Then the personal secretary sends mail to everyone, come for the meeting. So everyone will come. Who told? Personal secretary told. In that way. So everyone will assemble and they will do the needful, including the boss. So in that way. These particular times are created by the Lord. Thus, the meaning should be when the time of creation appears, then creation takes place. And before that, because Lord desired so, now creation is going to take place. Because Lord desired so, no maintenance will continue. Because Lord decides so, the annihilation will take place. So in that way. Time is the personal assistant to the Supreme Lord, who implements the will of the Supreme Lord. So in that way. It was also said that at the time of prominence of Sattva, the Devatas are favored. This again may indicate the Lord's dependence on time, but this verse refutes that conception. Time exists along with Maya Shakti, that is Pradhana, and his expansions, Pumbyam, the Jiva Shakti. The Supreme Lord expands into all the variety of Jivas, and he also expands in the form of Maya, which manifests the 24 material elements, starting with Mahatattva, Ankara, Buddhi, Man, Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, Panchamahabhutas, Panchatanmatras. All these are manifestation of Maya Shakti from Pradhana, and all the living entities are manifestation of Jiva Shakti. So along with them, there is a third component, that is time. So time is as good as Pradhana and Jiva Shakti. So in that way, we have to understand. Because he is their cause, because the Lord is the source of time, Pradhana and living entities, he is completely independent. Because the matter is product, the whole universe is dependent on the Supreme Lord. So matter, the Pradhana is a product. It is an insentient product. It has no Icha Shakti. So it has to depend upon the Supreme Lord. But the universe, the very product is illusory. So some people say Brahma Satya, Jagan Mithya, but the product is illusory. the universe is all illusory. Some say that it is futile to argue about the dependence or independence of illusory energy. So the entire universe is illusory, and if Prakriti is illusory, how can you say that Prakriti is dependent on the Supreme Lord? Prakriti is one of the energies of Supreme Lord. A illusory thing, why it is having any dependence or independence? There is no need to talk about all those things. Some Twadis might say the answer is the Lord is the creator of the real object. Lord is the creator of Pradhana, Lord is the creator of the living entities, Lord is the creator of Kala. So if Pradhana is illusory, then one may say that Kala is also illusory, living entities are also illusory. But Lord does not create illusory objects. He is Satyakrit. He is the creator of the real objects. Therefore, one should not say that the universe, the, the product of his real Shakti is illusory. Never ever say that the universe is illusory. Because it is creation of the Supreme Lord. It is Satyakrit. Because Lord is Satya, his creation is also Satya. It is never a Mithya. If somebody says that Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya, that Jagat Mithya is completely wrong. If Lord is Satya, how can Lord's creation be Mithya? Lord's creation also should be Satya. How can a Satya Lord creates a Mithya world? So something like that. Therefore, one should not say that the universe, the the product of the real Shakti is illusory. This false philosophy implies that if the effects are all illusory, the Supreme Lord to be inferred from the effects cannot be proved. So till now we were telling that, so even though we cannot see, but Lord is helping the Asuras and Rakshasas by understanding the result, by seeing the effect. If the Asuras are victorious, we can say that Lord is supporting them. If the Rakshasas are victorious, we can say that they are supporting them. But if the world itself is Mithya, so now can we infer the Lord's manifestation in these modes? So like that one says. So therefore Madhva quotes Shruti to prove the point. Sasyam hi evamidam vishwam asrujata. The Lord created the real universe. Lord did not create illusory universe. He created real universe. Since he is the creator of the real universe, he maintains the real universe. His presence is there everywhere in the real universe. We cannot deny. The universe is not illusory, and Lord's helping Tamoguna, Rajoguna is also not illusory. It is real. So for that, to that effect, this has been mentioned. So like that. The last verse for today. Yaesha Rajan Apikala Ishita.
ईश्वराजन अपि कालसीत इशिता
Sattvam Suranikamivaidyata Ityatata.
सत्यां सुरानीकम् अवैद्यति अतः
Tat Pratyanikan Suran Surapriyo.
तत्त तत्त प्रतीया किकान अरुष असुरान सूर्यप्रिय
Rajastamaksham Praminoti Urushrava.
रजस्तमास्कान् प्रमिनोति ईश्वरः.
Okay.
O king, this time factor enhance the sattva guna. Thus, although the Supreme Lord is controller, he favors the demigods who are mostly situated in sattva guna. Then the demons who are influenced by tamoguna are annihilated. The Supreme Lord induces the time factor to act in different ways, but he is never partial. Rather, his activities are glorious and therefore he is called Urushrava. Hare Krishna.
O king, the Lord as time, friend of the Devatas, increase the Devatas in Satvaguna by the Lord's influence and destroy the demons inimical to them who are covered by Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Since time is the product of the Lord, the nature of the product is applied to the Lord as well. Thus, the Lord is described as time. The Lord increases the devatas with predominance of sattva. He destroys the demons who are enemies of the devatas. But time is the cause of disturbance of the gunas and not the Lord. Though a person makes a house, controls it, maintains it, and lives in it, the height or coolness of the house is not the height and coolness of that person. Just like all of the devotees, most of us might have constructed a home and then might be living in that home, and that home might be having so many facilities. Just because I have constructed the home, just because I am living in the home, I don't become the home. The home is home, I am I. The home is an object of mine, it is a belonging of mine. Similarly, the Lord is affectionate to Devatas, is Surapriya. Though this is favoritism, it is ornament, not a fault. This has been explained elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9:29. So one may say that, my dear sir, that is fine. Lord is favoring all the three gunas, that is fine. Because Lord is covered by mode of ignorance and mode of passion, even though he is standing next to the Deva, Asuras and Rakshasas, we are not able to see. But we are seeing the Lord when he is standing next to the Suras. Is it not a fault on the Lord's part? The Lord should have done same thing. Because I am not visible with the Tamoguna and Rajoguna, I will also not visible with Satvaguna. So one may say that then that becomes perfect. So, but Acharya said that no, it is not a fault in the Lord because he is visible only with the Devatas. It is actually Lord's ornament. Why the Lord is visible with the Devatas? That is
Because of
explained in the.
presence of Sattvagun.
हाँ वो तो है, तो सत्वगुण तो है, बट सत्वगुण से ऊपर और कुछ है. What is that? Till now, we are treating all the people objectively. The Devatas are in mode of goodness, Rakshasas are in mode of ignorance, Asuras are in mode of passion. This is the objective analysis. And Lord is there with everyone. Other two places is completely covered. Does the Lord has no potency to make himself visible even though covered by passion and ignorance? He could have done it, but he's not doing it. Why? There is one factor. There is one factor that is mentioned in 929. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshosti na priyaha. As Paramatma, I am equal to everyone. I don't show favoritism or envy to anybody. But ye bhajanti tu maam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. Why Lord makes his appearance next to Devatas? Because the Devatas serve me. The Asuras and Rakshasas, they do not serve me. Even though, as a father, I will fulfill their demands. I facilitate their desires. But because my devotees, the Devatas, go out of their way to serve me. Even though they don't have to worship me, but they go out of their way to worship me. That's why I stand next to them. If they don't worship me, in the sense normally, if the Devatas are simply following the activities of mode of goodness, I will stand with them, but I will cover myself. I will not make visible to Devatas. But Lord is making himself visible to Devatas because the Devatas are going out of their way to worship the Lord. Even though it is not expected from them, even though it may not be required for them, but still they are doing out of their love for the Supreme Lord. And that love controls the Lord and makes him stand next to the Devatas. That is ornament of the Lord. Lord is not subjugated by Sattva. Lord is subjugated by Prema. The Devatas only have that Prema for the Supreme Lord. Not the Asuras, not the Rakshasas. Simple example. Hiranyakashipu was so powerful. So Lord allowed him to become the ruler of the entire universe. He ruled for many years. But Lord never became visible to Hiranyakashipu. But Prahlad Maharaj is no one, is only one person, and Lord became visible to him. When Prahlad said, Lord is there in the pillar, Lord became visible. Because Prahlad went out of his way to serve the Lord. Out of his way to show his surrender to Supreme Lord. Lord is completely controlled by that love. Lord cannot resist standing next to Prahlad Maharaj. That is Prema. This displaying Prema is not the act of Paramatma. This is the act of Bhagavan. Like that we have to understand. Sometimes the Devatas are defeated. Okay, if Devatas are devotees, then why are they defeated? And there are so many devotees along with us. Why are they going through troubles? The Lord should be controlled by the love of the devotees, and Lord should be standing next to them. Lord should be protecting always them. Why? The devotees are going through troubles and Devatas are getting defeated. This is arranged by the Lord to rid the Devatas of their pride. उसके लिए भी reason है. How can you say that Lord is affectionate to all beings and is friend of everyone? He is Urushrava, who is the most famous. His fame is proclaimed as the friend of all and most affectionate to all when he gives Putana and others a place in the spiritual world, even though they committed the greatest sins. Not only Prahlada, even Putana who came to kill the Lord gave her the position of the mother. Aho bakiyam stanakala kutam jigam shaya payadapi asadvai. Lebe gatim datri uchitam tatunyam kamvadayalum sharanam rajema. Who can be more merciful, who can be more impartial than the Supreme Lord? अभी एक असुर आया था आपको मारने के लिए, उनको माता का पोजीशन दे दिया. अभी देखो प्रहलाद तो डिवोटी है, इसलिए वो भगवान आए, उसमें कुछ गलती नहीं, वो तो एक्सपेक्टेड है. पर पूतना के लिए क्या जरूरत है? इसके ऊपर who can be more impartial than this? Hare Krishna. Thank you. So we'll stop here. बहुत late हो गया. All devotees are waiting till now. All of you are able to follow?
Yes,
Yes, Prabhuji.
You
This is actually
will be
one
posting
important
the lecture.
philosophical. That's why we went in detail. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji, you will be posting the lecture, no, Prabhu? We'll hear it
हाँ,
again. It'll,
yeah. वो group में आएगा recording.
yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much
Hare Krishna.
for joining. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Dhanyavad
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining. And sorry for the inconvenience in between, some problem with their internet ka. So Hare Krishna. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Bhaktavinda ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
हाँ, Hare Krishna Mataji, congratulations.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Is
Dandavata
Prabhuji there?